The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for this 19th day of September 2023. It is time for Game 2 of our National League Championship Series. The Astros winning the opener yesterday 8-4 behind strong performances by Richard Hidalgo, Roy Oswalt, and Octavio Dotel. The Cubs got into trouble early, fought their way back, and then had a bad inning in the eighth. So the first and the eighth were the innings that Chicago would like back. But if they win this one, and they're going to have John Lieber on the hill for Game 2, they go back to Wrigley all even if they can win today. It really is, okay, the Cubs are hoping for a split here in Houston. The Astros would love to go to Chicago, up 2-0, but realize that may or may not happen. They're going to go with Wade Miller, who was hit hard by the Marlins in his National League Divisional Series start. Somehow, this is not set as a dome. I'm not sure why, and I'm not going to change it now. But if there is a light rain, we'll pretend it's not raining inside, and hopefully there won't be a delay. But that's a rainy day in Houston, so the roof is closed in time for Game 2. The Astros are up 1-0. It's time for baseball right here on Retro Sports Network. As Retro Sports Network presents the 2001 National League Championship Series, Game 2 from Enron Field in Houston, Texas. The Houston Astros are up 1-0 on the Chicago Cubs, and today's ball game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. It is indeed Wade Miller who gets the start. How you doing, Big Dave? Wade pitched Game 2 against Florida and did not pitch all that well. First of all, he's a fastball pitcher at 92 and a fly ball pitcher. Wade is 24 years old. He went 5 innings in their Game 2 loss to Florida. The lone win for the Squishy Fishies in the LDS. Went 5 innings, 113 pitches, 6 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 2 homers. He walked 4 and struck out 3. And this will be the lineup that he'll face as soon as I remember to shut off running the Cubs. It'll be Michael Tucker leading off again for Chicago in center field. Ricky Gutierrez, who made it interesting yesterday. Remember, he had that big home run late. Sammy Sosa has struggled in this postseason. He still will hit third and play right field. Fred McGriff cleans up at first base. Rondell White, who had a good game yesterday, moves up to the 5-hole and will bat and play left field. Ron Coomer gets his job back at third after Bill Miller's big error was costly yesterday in Game 1. Eric Young at second will bat 7th. Todd Hundley behind the plate will bat 8th. And John Lieber, the lefty, will bat 9th and should throw about 110 pitches. Defensively for the Stros, outside of Wade Miller, it's the same group that they've played with all the way through. Lance Berkman a 5 and a 5 in left. Richard Hidalgo a 7 and a 6 in center. Moises Alou a 2 and a 9 in right. Vinny Castilla is a 5 at third. Lugo a 7 at short. Biggio a 3 at second. Bagwell a 6 at first. Brett Ausmus a 10 and a 7 behind the plate, and Miller is an 8 with a 963 fielding percentage. Tonight, I'm either doing some private strat with a fan, or we'll have Game 1 of the American League Championship Series, which I'd forgotten to schedule on the computer, between Oakland and Seattle. So all that for that. Michael Tucker stepping in for the playoffs at 5 for 12 with 2 RBI. Miller delivers, and Tucker hits a ground ball to Bagwell Jeff takes it to the bag, 1 out. If I have that prior engagement, then Game 1 of the American League Championship Series will be tomorrow at noon. And if I don't have that engagement, Game 2 of the American League Championship Series will be tomorrow at noon. Ricky Gutierrez, he had that big home run yesterday. 3 for 15 in the playoffs, hitting 200. A home run and 3 RBI. Miller walked him. That was the Cubs' Achilles heel in Game 1. They walked 9 batters yesterday. You aren't going to the World Series if you walk 9 batters too many times in the playoffs. Sammy Sosa has struggled. He is 1 for 13 with a home run and 2 RBI, and that home run came against the Giants in their sweep. Here's the pitch. Ball 4. So Wade Miller has walked 2 here in the first, and that'll bring up Fred McGriff, 3 for 15 on the postseason, a home run and 2 RBI. So Gutierrez on second, Sosa on first. The Cubs would love to go home with a split in this series. And McGriff sends this one into center field. Hidalgo rides the Schwinn, making the catch, 1 out. Gutierrez will tag. Hidalgo has a decent arm, and so there's 2 away for Rondell White, who was 5 for 14, hitting .357. He also had a good game 1, a solo home run and an RBI. Tribe fan, how are you? Miller deals and strikes out White. Got him in there with a fastball below the belt. Got him looking. So the Cubs straying 2, and that's it. No runs, no hits, and somehow, some way, those walks don't hurt. Half an inning in the books here in Game 2. No score. So John Lieber, that's true. We'll talk about that in a minute. And how's Nick Chubb doing this morning? Lieber, 31 years old, slider at 84, standard pitcher. He got the win in Game 2 of that series against San Francisco and promptly threw a 3-hit shutout. So he is who the Cubs, I guess, want out there, especially after the shaky start from Kerry Wood in Game 1. So 111 pitches, 3 hits, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts. And before we get talking about Nick Chubb and Mr. Babcock, here is the Houston lineup. Julio Lugo will play short and lead off. Craig Biggio playing second and batting second. Jeff Bagwell at first will go third. Lance Berkman in left field. And we'll clean up. I'm being told that Chubb tore his MCL and ACL. Ouch. An injury that was so bad that they refused to show the replay. How you doing, Mike from the truck? Hidalgo will bat fifth and play center field. Moises Alou in right will go sixth. Vinny Castilla at third batting seventh. Brad Ausmus behind the plate eighth. And Wade Miller through 21 pitches in his half of the ninth. Today's game is brought to you by Moxie Soda. Take a sip back in time with Moxie's distinctly bold flavor. The perfect companion. I should read it as Vinny. Let me do the Cubbies defense first. Rondell White, a 4 and a 3 in left. Michael Tucker, a 3 and a 3 in center. Sammy Sosa, a 6 and a 7 in right. The one defensive change outside of Lieber is Ron Coomer, a 3 at third. Ricky Gutierrez, a 3 at short. Eric Young, a 4 at second. Fred McGriff, a 4 at first. Hundley is an 8 and a 1 behind the plate. And John Lieber is an 8 on the mound with a 1,000 fielding percentage. Today's game, oh, by the way, is brought to you by Moxie Soda. Take a sip back in time with Moxie's distinctly bold flavor, the perfect companion for every retro sports moment. Make it memorable with Moxie. Lugo 6 for 21 in the playoffs, a home run and 7 RBI. Lieber starts his effort, gets away from Hundley on strike 3, throws down to McGriff, 1 out. So, Blue Jacket fan or Tribe fan, of course, imagine you start training camp and need to find a new head coach. Now, Mike Babcock was asking for personal pictures of his players. Is that actually what that was? Here's Biggio, 6 for 21 with an RBI in these playoffs. Biggio, line drive to third. Coomer snares it. 2 out. For Bagwell, 4 for 19 with a home run and 2 RBI. Lieber winds and deals. And there's a base hit past Young into center field. So the Astros had the first hit of the ballgame. If you go to the Freiburg Main Fair, or the Freiburg Fair, Andrew says, you can buy Moxie jelly. Something about Maine, I guess. That's what the Avs dealt with, Blue Jacket fan says, in 16 when Waugh resigned right before training camp. They were terrible that season, but the coach they got, Jared Bednar, led them to eventually led them to a title. Bagwell on first, 2 out. He can steal. Here's Berkman, 4 for 16 on the playoffs. Bagwell's going to go. Hundley does not have a good arm, and Bagwell has a stolen base. 2 out, runner on second. Remember, Gil Hodges had a fatal heart attack either before the 72 season for the Mets or 73 season. And Yogi Berra took him over. And, of course, in 73, they won the East. Pitch to Berkman. And Berkman draws the walk, so 2 on and 2 out here for Hidalgo, who is red hot. He is 10 for 19 in these playoffs, including 1 for 3 yesterday. 2 homers and 7 RBI. Oh, really? So apparently they're asking about Astros who stole 30 bases in immaculate grid, and I haven't done mine today. Jeff Bagwell is an answer. Pitch to Hidalgo. There's a ground ball to Young. Eric has it. Goes to Gutierrez for the easy out at second, and the Astros are going to strand 2. They do get a hit, however, and after 1 here in game 2, no score. But you would think, to get back to the Blue Jackets, it'll be Coomer, Young, and Hundley. Ron 2 for 9 in the playoffs. That was all against San Francisco. Oh, I do think he pinch hit yesterday in game 1. Is that you know that your behavior is going to be carefully monitored, regardless of anything, because you're a public figure. And if you do something that somebody does not like, such as, can I have some candids of you, if that's indeed what the case is with Babcock, that all it's going to take is one person to whine or complain, maybe complain is a better word, to the right voice, and things get investigated. Pitch to Coomer. There's a line drive foul, third base side, and somebody from Katy makes that play a ball and 2 strikes. It should not be a whine. That's not a very smart thing for me to say. But you know where I'm going with that. Pitch to Coomer. There's a fly ball left field. Berkman in the corner, and Lance will make the catch. Went out. After what happened with the Blackhawks a few years ago, I think everyone needs to be overly sensitive when someone makes a complaint about an official. And we're not going any further with that than that. Eric Young had a hit yesterday. He is 7 for 14 on the, or 4 for 17 on the playoffs with a home run and 2 RBI. Miller deals, and Young sends this one into deep left center field. Back goes Hidalgo, and Richard by the hill makes the catch. 2 out. So here's Hundley. Todd 5 for 17 on the postseason with a double and 2 RBI. He hit 187 in real life and is hitting 294 when it matters most. Miller deals, and Hundley strikes out. So Miller has fanned 2. The Cubs go in order after an inning and a half, no score. So Alou, Castilla, and Osmus to face Lieber here in the second. Moises, 6 for 20 in this postseason with 5 RBI. Alou rips this one down the line. That's extra bases. White will corral it. Alou digging for 2, and that is not in time. So the Astros have a runner in scoring position. Nobody out here in the second. Here's Castilla. Vinny, 4 for 18. And he's not the one pushing for Moxie. Moxie Jelly, are you kidding me? With a home run and 3 RBI. Castilla swings, high fly ball, left field. White will grab this one short of the track, and Alou goes back to second. And Larry Durker will hold him there. So 1 out for Ausmus, 3 for 18. With 2 RBI. It came up in the Discord last night, for those of you who are Patreons of our podcast, that a can of Moxie has 62 grams of sugar. That is over 2 full ounces of sugar. And if you ever had a Moxie, the first question you should ask yourself, and remember that's about 9 grams more than a can of Mountain Dew. Where the hell they put it? Pitch to Ausmus. Ground ball to Gutierrez. Ricky looks Alou back. Throws to first for the out. We do, by the way, have a guest lined up for show 200. Yep, Moxie and Campbell's Soup, your sugar and salt for the day. Imagine drinking a Moxie and eating a bowl of tomato soup. Wade Miller is 0 for 1. He struck out in his lone at-bat in Game 2 against the Marlins. So Alou on second. You can't bunt here with 2 out. Andrew from Claremont says the same folks who like Moxie like black licorice. I don't mind black licorice. I guess people absolutely hate it. Here's a ground ball. Lieber, third side of the mound, throws to McGriff, and that'll do it. So Alou's double is all for naught. We go to the third here in Game 2. No score. Someone who likes Moxie and black licorice is left watching the ball game. John Lieber, 1 for 4 against San Francisco. He had a single, an RBI, and a strikeout. I'm not sure I've ever bought black licorice, but if I have remembered eating some black licorice Twizzlers. Pitch to Lieber. There's a liner to right. Alou will trot in, and he decides to play that on a hop. That probably was the better thing to do. Lieber probably would have had second if that scampered past him, so Alou will hold Lieber to a single. Tucker is 0 for 1. Miller opening 9, 38 pitches, 2+ innings, a hit, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. I looked this up just because I have no life whatsoever. What would you guess is the #1 purchased grocery store item for those of us who have our groceries delivered by Instacart? Pitch to Tucker. Fly ball, right field. Alou coming in and will make the catch. Lieber goes back to first. I will say that Instacart, at least in Vermont anyway, is not allowed to deliver any beer or wine from a grocery store. So what's the #1 thing purchased in grocery stores that are delivered to people's homes? Ricky Gutierrez walked his first time up. And that's a ground ball past Lugo for a base hit. So the Cubs have 2 hits here in the third. Lieber on second, Gutierrez on first. 1 out for Sammy Sosa, who walked his first time up. Miller is allowed 2 hits, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Sosa swings. That's a base hit into right center field. That's going to score Lieber. Sosa is into second as Hidalgo struggled with that, and the Cubs lead this ball game 1-0 here in the third. So a big hit for Sosa, his first of the series and his first RBI of the series. And now I'll bring up Fred McGriff, who's 0 for 1. So yeah, that's the trivia question. You can Google it. Most purchased item grocery-wise for those of us who have groceries delivered. McGriff swings a high fly ball to right. Alou, that's going to die on the track. He'll make the catch. Gutierrez will tag and hold. He held. That ball was a rocket that Alou had to reach for, and I can't believe that Gutierrez didn't try to score. The throw went in the infield. It didn't go to the plate. So here's Rondell White. Rondell struck out his first time up. 1-0 Cubs, 2 outs here in the top of the third. Miller just kind of giving a sly smile to Ausmus behind the plate. For the moment, the Astros have dodged one. Pitch to White. Ball 4, so they're loaded. Yeah, the Cubbies might say, oh, a Tribe fan, Ricky, please lose my number after that. So they're loaded. Third walk for Miller. Here is Ron Coomer. Ron is 0 for 1. So it's Gutierrez on third, Sosa on second, White on first. Cubs have a run in here already in the top of the third. Coomer hits this one in the left center field. That's going to score 2. Gutierrez finally scores. Sosa rounds third. Berkman's throw to the plate is going to be... gets away from everybody. How about that? So Coomer goes to second. Let's see if they score 3 on that or 2. White will score, and that will cause a 3-run score. Lance Berkman just threw that ball away, and it's 4-0 Cubs. He just uncorked one that was nowhere near Ausmus, and by the time he got it, all 3 runs had scored. And Coomer gets credit for all 3 RBI. So the one player, position player, that was changed between Game 1 and Game 2 has made a huge impact. Here's Young. Eric is 0 for 1. Ground ball to third. Castilla over to Bagwell for the out. But that error by Berkman was huge. 4 runs on 4 hits and 1 error. We go to the bottom of the third here in Game 2. It's the Cubs 4, the Astros 0. So top of the lineup, Lieber 30 pitches, 2 innings, 2 hits, a walk and a strikeout. Lugo struck out to start the ball game. Got him. That's 2 for Lieber. A 1-2 curve, swung on and missed. So that'll bring up Biggio. Craig is 0 for 1. Lieber rocks and fires into right center. Tucker coming in, rides the Schwinn, 2 out. So the Cubs just being a bit sneaky here. Here's Bagwell. He singled his first time up. There's a high fly ball, right center field. Sosa to the track, and that's off the wall. That didn't miss by much. Bagwell's looked and looked and looked, and he goes into second standing. So a 2-out double. The Astros, by the way, have left on 3 through the first 2. Now here's Berkman, and Berkman needs an apology to his teammates right now. He walked his first time up. In fact, Berkman has walked 7 times in the playoffs. Make it 8. So first and second, 2 out for Hidalgo. A batter the Cubs really just want nothing to do with. Struck him out. Lieber pumps his fist as Hidalgo chased one out of the zone. The Astros have left on 5 through 3. No runs, a hit, and no errors. And we go to the 4th in game 2. It's the Cubs 4, the Astros nothing. So Hundley, Lieber, and Tucker to face Miller. How you doing, John? John gets 2 freebie questions he gets to ask me because I messed up on the podcast. Hundley struck out his first time up. 4-0 Chicago, thanks to a 3-run bases-clearing, error-filled double hit by Ron Coomer. Hundley swings. That's into right. Alou. 1 out. John Lieber will be swinging here. He's 1 for 1. He singled and scored. And if you're an Astro fan, Miller, he didn't take a decision against the Marlins in Game 2, but that was the lone playoff game the Astros have lost so far. Got him. A 1-2 fastball inside corner. 2 out for Tucker, who's 0 for 2. Opening 18 for Wade. 72 pitches, 3 2/3. 4 hits, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Tucker hits a ground ball to Biggio. Craig over to first. And that will retire the side. So, after 3.5, no runs, no hits, a clean inning from Miller. It's the Cubs 4, the Astros nothing. And if you weren't with us yesterday, the Astros lead the series 1-0 on the 8-4 Houston win. It was 4-3 in the bottom of the 8th, and Houston popped off 4. And some idiot forgot to put in the schedule for Seattle and Oakland, and we'll do that after the ball game. So game 1 of that series will either be tonight at 8:30, we're talking Seattle and Oakland, or noon tomorrow. These 2 teams will have an off day, and we will see them Thursday at noon for game 3 at Wrigley. Alou doubled his first time up, and then was stranded on second. Fly ball left field. White will make the catch. 1 out for Vinny Castilla, who's 0 for 1. Again, I don't think they have this as a dome or a retractable roof because it's raining in here. And unless George Burns is making a cameo, it should not be raining inside. Pitch to Castilla. Vinny hits a fly ball to right. Sosa over in the corner, and that is a souvenir. Someone from Waco drinking a Dr. Pepper made that catch. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Castilla. There's a high fly ball to left, but that will not make the track. White's there, and there's 2 out. So Osmus is 0 for 1. Lieber pitching a gem. He threw well against San Francisco, has not given up an earned run, and his 12 2/3 playoff innings. Osmus struck him out. So Lieber through 4 is thrown a 3-hitter, which is exactly what he did to San Francisco in game 2 of that series. After 4, Cubs 4, Astros nothing. So Ricky Gutierrez singled and walked and scored in the 3rd. Not all in the same inning. And remember, he had the big home run for the Cubs in game 1 that made it a ball game. And there's a rain delay indoors. Are you kidding? Well, that's an error in the game. Because you wouldn't have a tarp. It's a retractable roof. Yeah, Boo was right. So Miller drops down to 100 pitches, Lieber 95. It was a 27-minute delay while they tried to get the roof closed. So still nobody on here in the 5th. Houston humidity is pretty extreme, but that's why they played in a dome. Was there a B delay? I remember that. Joba Chamberlain has never recovered from that. Gutierrez into right. Moises Alou will make the catch, 1 out. Attack of the Killer Midgies. Attack of the Killer Midgies. Sammy Sosa has a double and an RBI. 1 for 1 with a walk. Right, Midgies not B's for Joba, who later pitched for the Indians. Yep. We've had delays for brawls in the stands and such, but that is a dome. It should not be raining inside. Pitch to Sosa. There's a fly ball left field, and that ball is long gone. I believe Sammy has found his groove. And it's 5-0 Chicago here in Game 2. Sosa hit a home run in the series against San Francisco, and he just uncorked one down the line in the Crawford boxes here in Game 2 against Houston. And it's looking more and more likely that we get all 3 games from Wrigley Field. So Miller is due up first in the 5th. So they're probably going to see, like, please just get me 2 more outs. Please just get me 2 more outs. McGriff is 0 for 2. Sosa could definitely be the Moxie player of the game. Fly ball, right center field. Back goes Alou, and that is off the wall. So McGriff is into second. And Miller is okay. So the weird weather here is maybe what you do. Who would be Malicki pitched Game 4, and you certainly wouldn't go with Ellerton. Malicki actually pitched the clincher and actually did a good job. So Miller on brass fumes here after the delay. McGriff on second, White at the plate. Rondell has walked, struck out, and scored. He's 0 for 1. Ground ball to Lugo, looking McGriff back, throws to first for the out. Ron Coomer, remember, it was his single that turned into an error that cleared the bases in the 3rd. And Coomer sends this one into right center field. McGriff will... What's McGriff going to do? Hidalgo has it. The grass is a bit wet. And they'll concede the run. So Coomer... I don't know. Coomer's driven in 4. You know what? If you're going to have a Moxie player of the game, wouldn't that be the GOAT? And we're not talking LeBron or Tom Brady here. But one Lance Berkman, whose error uncorked a couple runs. Here's Eric Young. He's 0 for 2. Miller deals. And there's a ground ball to Lugo. That'll do it over to Biggio. And that finally ends the inning. Halfway home on a fall cloudy day here in Burlington. 2 more for the Cubs on 3 hits and no errors. I promise we'll have a playoff game that's actually good at some point, but for now, it's 6-0 Cubs. Well, if you joined us late, the Cubs have decided to make this a series. the two teams from the National League Central that made the playoffs. Cubs got 4 in the third. A Sammy Sosa double scored John Lieber. And you know when the pitcher scores, that's not a good sign. And then Ron Coomer, a bases clearing single. However, Lance Berkman uncorked a throw that hit off the backstop from left field and then allowed 3 runs to score. 4-0 Cubbies. Rain delay in a dome. Yep, a rain delay in a dome in the top of the 5th. Sammy Sosa then promptly smashed his second home run of the playoffs down the line and left to make it 5-0, and then Ron Coomer has driven in 4. He singled home Fred McGriff to make it 6-0. So with Wade Miller up here in the 5th, he'll be pinch hit for 5 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs all earned. Wow, he didn't even get a break for that boo-boo. A home run, 3 walks and 3 strikeouts, 99 pitches. Not a good effort. John Lieber, who 3-hit the Giants in Game 2 of the Cubs sweep of that series, has a 3-hitter through 4. He has walked 2 and struck out 4. So Miller will be pinch hit 4, and it's who can hit a righty. And it's Jose Vizcaino, who went 2 for 2 in the Marlins series. Tribe fan says, save all the good games for the World Series. No, I want some good games in the League Championship Series. Pitch to Vizcaino. Jose, there's a ground ball over the mound. Gutierrez snares it. Throws to McGriff. 1 out. For Lugo, who was struck out twice. Lieber, 66 pitches. Can probably only go about 95 now after the rain delay. 4 1/3, 3 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Lieber deals. Lugo strikes out, so he takes the collar. He foul-tipped it in the glove of Todd Hundley. So here's Biggio, who was 0 for 2. If you're going to have the bad game, and for Houston this is turning out to be a bad game, you don't want to do it at home. Do it on the road on television. Then at least you don't have to open up the paper the next day and read about how bad you played. Pitch to Biggio. There's a line drive to Gutierrez, and Ricky snares it. And we're through 5. No runs, no hits, no errors. New pitcher coming in for the Astros. It is 6-0 Chicago. So I don't want Dotel. I certainly don't want Valone. We'll burn Tim Redding. Redding in just to get some long relief here. He pitched in the Game 2 loss here to Florida. 8-6, went 21 pitches. Allowed a hit, walked 1, and struck out 2. He's 23. Fastball pitcher at 95 and a fly ball pitcher. And he is here to eat up some innings. Now, Steeler fan isn't here. What is the consensus on using your closer at some point? You got tomorrow off in game time. Do you waste Wagner in a blowout loss or no? Pitch to Hundley, and Hundley draws the walk. He came into this at bat 0 for 2. Lieber in a bunt situation, 1 for 2. He is singled, struck out, and scored. Jamie leans towards no. So Bagwell and Castilla come in for the bunt. He drops one down. Castilla bare hands it, throws to second, and they get Hundley. Did they get the double play? No. Lieber beat it out, but Castilla barehanded it and looked to Biggio, who saw that that was where Castilla's play was going, and made that U-turn and beat him with the bag. So on the fielder's choice, it goes 5-4. 1 out for Tucker, who is 0 for 3. Redding deals. and he walked him. So 1 vote towards no. There's Gutierrez, 1 for 2. Ricky has singled, walked, and scored. 6-0 Chicago. 1 out, 2 on, top the 6th. Gutierrez up the middle, might be 2. Lugo, Biggio for 1, pivots, throws to Bagwell, and that will be indeed a 6-4-3 double play. We go to the bottom of the 6th here in game 2. Ends up nothing across, but it was a busy inning. And Chicago 6, Houston nothing. So Bagwell, who's not had a bad day, in fact he's had 2 of the 3 hits for Houston, Berkman and Hidalgo. Jeff has a single and a double, and that's it. Fly ball, center field. Tucker, 1 out. The good news is when you lead in this situation is that it's only 1 game, and the Astros I still think are in better shape pitching-wise than Chicago. Berkman has walked twice, by the way. And he hits it right back to Lieber, who throws to McGriff for the out. You never know what's going to happen with the Chicago pen. Here's Hidalgo, 0 for 2 in game 2 with a strikeout. Lieber winds and fires. Hidalgo into left. That's going to be in the corner. White reaches over. No. Somebody from Baton Rouge made the trip. And the count is 0-2. Lieber winds and fires. Hidalgo strikes out. Hundley has to go fish for it. Throws it down to McGriff. And that's 6 for Lieber. We've played 6 here in game 2. John Lieber has the Astros all tongue-tied at 6-0 Cubs. Sammy Sosa has finally had the breakout game Cub fans have wished for. He has homered and doubled and drove in 2. Line drive to left, and he is now a triple short of the cycle as Berkman throws it back in. So here's Fred McGriff. Fred is 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. So plenty for the Astros to chew on that flight back to Chicago. Pitch to McGriff. High fly ball to right. Alou is there for the out. So 1 out for White, who has walked and struck out. He has scored. Ground ball to Biggio. Craig might get 2. Lugo for 1. And White will beat out the throw to Bagwell. So Rondell will reach on the fielder's choice. 2 out here in the 7th for Ron Coomer, who is 2 for 3. He has singled twice, technically cleared the bases his first time, and drove home another run his next in the 5th. So he is 4, accounts for 4 of the 6 Cub runs. In the center, Hidalgo moving over. Stretch time here in Houston, 6-0 Cubs. Well, the saving grace for the Astros is that John Lieber is probably going to run out of gas in this inning. But he has kept the Astros in check on 85 pitches, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Alou has 1 of those 3 hits. He has a double. He is 1 for 2. And he sends this one in the corner in the left, and White will have it go foul. So 2-2 the count to Alou. Base hit right side. Sosa will pick it up. And again, Lieber's tank is probably pretty close to E. Here's Castilla. Vinny is 0 for 2. Alou almost fast enough where you would want to steal. Hundley and Lieber try to get together as the bullpen gets busy. Castilla, that's a base hit in the left, and the Astros have something cooking here in the 7th. Alou will hold at second. So 2 on, nobody out. Looks like they're going to give Lieber Ausmus. Brad is 0 for 2. Redding will be pinch hit for here. He did a good job keeping it 6-0. Ausmus gets away from Hundley, but the runner holds. Lieber again with nobody out. 6-run lead, full count. Here it comes. Ausmus with a base hit in the left. White will pick it up. Alou will hold at third. You got Darrell Ward, who can hit either lefties or righties. And Dave Weathers will come in to pitch. So that'll do it. The Astros making some noise here in the 7th. Lieber leaves the game with the bases loaded and nobody out. Weathers did not pitch against the Astros. He went an inning and a third in their Game 3 win against San Francisco. 24 pitches 4 nights ago. A solo homer is what he gave up. So in these playoffs, 2 1/3, the solo home run and a strikeout. Dave over from the Reds, 31 years old, fastball at 91. And a ground ball pitcher, so it will be no, unless something crazy happens, a run at least will get charged to John Lieber, but he leaves 9 outs short of sending the series back to Chicago at 1 game apiece. Ward gets away from Hundley, and a run's gonna score. So it's 6-1. A pass ball. So Hundley has a case of the jitters. There's nobody out, a 2-2 count, and the Astros are on the board. Ward in these playoffs is 1 for 3 with a walk. Ground ball to Young. Castilla should score as Young makes a diving stop on the grass. Throw to McGriff for the out. Everybody moves up 90. But the Astros have a 2 spot on the board, 1 out here in the 7th. For Lugo, who has struck out 3 times today. He is 0 for 3. Ausmus on third. Lugo strikes out again. That's the Lugo the Boston Red Sox got. He's chased a 1-2 fastball, 2 out for Biggio. Craig is 0 for 3. The Astros got 2 here in the bottom of the 7th. Base hit over the mound. And it's now 6-3 Chicago. For Jeff Bagwell, who was 2 for 3, he has singled, doubled, and stole a base. And on the real year, he stole 11. Octavio Dotel's starting to warm for Houston. Pitch to Bagwell. Got him. So Weathers does just that. We might be, but the Astros have the lead. We go to the 8th, 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors. It's the Cubs 6, the Astros 3. So as Dotel went 2/3 of an inning last night, a walk and 2 strikeouts on 14 pitches. Overall in these playoffs, 4 innings, 4 hits, 4 walks, and 7 strikeouts. A good outing for Timmy Redding. And we're just about a base runner or 2 away from hearing Howard Cosell go, "What a game this turned out to be." Left for dead, the Houston Astros had crashed and burned on the launch pad at Cape Kennedy. There, you just kind of go on from there. Somehow he turned that into something about life in the 70s. Eric Young, by the way, is 0 for 3. Ground ball to third. Castilla has it over to Bagwell for the out. No, it's an error. It's an error. And Young goes to second. Castilla threw it away. That's the second error for the Astros. And the Cubs don't want to hear any more about Howard Cosell and essays in the middle of games. Here's Todd Hundley. He is 0 for 2. A walk and a strikeout. Dotel, a deep breath. Got him. A full count a changeup. I don't know what he was looking for. So here's Weathers. He did indeed weather the bottom of the 7th. Bill Miller, yesterday's Moxie's GOAT, 2 for 8 in the playoffs with an RBI. Young on second, 1 out, 6-3 Chicago, top of the 8th. Miller, there's a liner in the right that's going to drop in front of Alou. Young has good speed. Moises has a great arm. And again, they do not run on it. So Moises Alou's arm has turned into the irresistible force. Here's Tucker. Michael is 0 for 3 with a walk. Runners on the corners. Cubs looking for some insurance here in the 8th. High fly ball, right field. That's a line drive, but Alou to the track makes the catch. Young goes back and will tag and score. And it's 7-3 Chicago. For Ricky Gutierrez, who's quietly having a very good series. 1 for 3 today. A walk, a run scored. He did, however, ground into his 4th postseason double play. Draws the walk. So here's Sosa. Sammy needs a triple for the cycle. You know what? I don't think, unless someone caught it after I was done, I have ever had a cycle. Ever. Not just streaming, but ever. Dotel is not pitched all that way. Well, Sosa 3 for 3. He won't get one tonight either as he strikes out. Jeff Fassero coming in. Cubs get one more. Bottom of the 8th, 7-3 Cubs. Fassero pitched last night in the 8th and kind of choked it away for the Cubs. It was 4-3 at that point. Houston got 4. Fassero 2/3 of an inning, 32 pitches, 3 hits, 2 walks and a strikeout. He's 38. He looks like in his picture that, shall we say, some bran flakes might be helpful. Fastball at 87 and standard pitcher. Berkman, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. Hidalgo and Alou coming in. 7-3 Cubs, bottom of the 8th, game 2. In a series that appears to be headed to be tied. Berkman starts the 8th. Base hit up the middle. Do you really want to hear me do another Cosell impression? Here is Hidalgo. He has struck out twice. He is 0 for 3. Fassero from the stretch. Ground ball to third. Might be 2. Coomer Over to Young for one. The throw to McGriff. They go around the horn. 5-4-3. So 2 out for Alou, who has singled, doubled, and scored. Nobody on. Facero from the wind. Base hit, left field. Extra bases. Alou has had himself a ball game. White will go fishing out of the corner. Coomer dove late, now losing the second. So Alou has done his job. He is 3 for 4. He has 3 of the 9 hits. Castillo 1 for 3, a single and a run scored. 7-9-0 for the Cubs. They have left on 8. 3 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors for Houston, and they have left on 6. 2 out. Facero deals. That is into center field, and that's going to drop in front of Michael Tucker. Alou rounds third. You going to give me the option here? Alou is going to score, and it's 7-4. So the Astros, after being stymied for 6 innings, have put 4 up in the 7th and 8th. There's Ausmus. Brad 1 for 3. A strikeout and a run scored. Cosell is warming up. Ausmus. Base hit left field. White will pick it up. Castilla is going to dig for third with 2 out. They're going to run on Rondell White. Ausmus will hold the throw to third. No, sir. He's in there. Orlando Merced. A reverse split hitter. Lefty versus lefty, but Merced hits him at a 600 clip. He is 2 for 3 in this postseason, with a walk. All of his appearances, however, came against Florida. He is singled twice, and in fact, he is the tying run with 2 out. So the Astros making some noise. There's enough orange hankies going around here to make you think you were at a Tang convention. Pitch and Hundley and Facero have a word. So Ausmus on first, Castilla on third. Merced pops it up left side. Flash Gordon gonna warm up, you would think. Coomer with a rainmaker makes the catch. The Astros get 1 on 4 hits and no errors. And I think now you got to bring Wagner in, don't you? After 8, 7-4, Cubs. So for the second time in a row, Wagner will come. Actually, he technically got the save in their Game 4 win, but it was ugly. 1 inning, 28 pitches, a hit, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. So his ERA is 0, and he's allowed 3 base runners, and no one has scored. But the top of the lineup for Houston will come up in the 9th, and if Wagner can hold the Cubs at bay, especially Griff, White, and Coomer, then the Astros have a shout, presumably against Flash Gordon, in the 9th. Fred is 1 for 4 in Game 2. He has doubled and scored. Wagner deals into left center. Hidalgo coming in. 1 out. Now remember, the logic here is different than it would be in the regular season. You got the off day, so Wagner was available. And I would agree with Jamie that with a 6-run lead, you don't bring him in. But with a 3-run lead, you do, or deficit as it may be, just because you're giving yourself a chance to score in the 9th. Rondell White is 0 for 3. He has walked, struck out, and scored. Got him! So Wagner got him to chase a full count fastball 2 out. Yeah, that's the big difference. In a 6-run game, I'd agree with you, but in a 3-run game, you got a chance. And you got the off day tomorrow. Here's Coomer. Ron is 2 for 4. He's your digital dice player of the game. Oh, you see, I didn't do that for this one, but if you will, Flash! Oh! You're welcome, Tribe fan. He says, I'm trying to get a Queen song out of my mind whenever I hear Flash. That's a song that probably sounds better to you after you've had some substances. And Scotty, I hope you're doing well wherever you're goat sitting. Pitch to Coomer. Struck him out. So Wagner has given them a chance. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 9th and Flash! Aww! The movie Flash Gordon is better with substances. Believe it or not, Tom Gordon did not pitch in the series against San Francisco. They didn't need him. So his real numbers, 1 and 2, 27 saves, a 3.38 ERA, 45 and a third real innings, 18 runs, 17 earned. He walked 16 and struck out 67. Tom is 33. He throws the fastball at 92 and is a fly ball pitcher. I had HBO when Flash Gordon was released to it at 10 years old or 9 years old, and as Mr. Hand would say, just say no to drugs, kids, okay? Julio Lugo has struck out 4 times in this one. The Astros need 3 to tie and 4 to win. Gordon starts his postseason. A base hit in the right center field. Lugo has 2. Lugo has 3. What a way to break out of it. Lugo just took that pitch where Gordon wanted it and just roped it out there towards the bullpen. And again, the tang-colored hankies are waving away. Here's Biggio. Craig is 1 for 4. He has singled and hit an RBI. Gordon deals. Gets away from Hundley and Lugo scores. It's 7-5, Chicago. If you're here and I'm here, wouldn't that make it our time? That's true. And as old Carol would sing, I'm so glad we had this time together. So here we go. The wild pitch scores the run, and it's a 2-run ball game. Lugo picked up the spare on the Little League home run. That's yes. Yes, he did. Candlepin bowling to follow. The famous... Oh, yeah. If you're here and I'm here, wouldn't that make it our time? Yes, Mr. Hand. Okay, I get it now. So a 2-2 count to Biggio on a 2-run ball game in the 9th. Ground ball, Eric Young behind the bag, over to McGriff. 1 out. It's a survey I'm not going to do. So here's Jeff Bagwell. Bagwell is 2 for 4 today. He has singled, doubled, stolen a base, and struck out. There's a pop-up. Gutierrez. 2 out. So we're down to last chance saloon for Chicago. Or for Houston, rather. Lance Berkman, 1 for 2. He has walked twice. Gordon deals. Struck him out, and the Cubs win it. Hey, the Cubs win. Holy cow. The Astros made it interesting. 3 hours and 46 fake minutes. 7 runs, 9 hits. Yep, Berkman is the Moxie Goat now, isn't he? 7 runs, 9 hits, no errors. The Cubs leave on 8. 5 runs, 12 hits, 2 errors for Houston, and they left on 8. Sammy Sosa. Actually, Ron Coomer's going to be your Digital Dice MVP. He drove in all 4 of the 7 runs. John Lieber gets the win. And it's a good thing, I think, for Houston that the rain punched him out because the bullpen didn't do all that well. 6 hits, 3 runs, just 1 earned. He walked 2 and struck out 6. Wade Miller, not a great outing. 5 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs, all earned, a homer. He walked 3 and struck out 3. And so Weathers gets the hold, Gordon gets the save, and everybody gets a day to recoup. And so this series will resume Thursday, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, from Wrigley Field. We'll have an American League Championship game for you tomorrow. I'm not sure if it's going to be Game 1 or Game 2. It'll be Mark Mulder versus, I believe, Jamie Moyer as we start the ALCS. That's Game 1, either 8:30 tonight or noon tomorrow. Hey, thank you so much for watching. The Cubs are going to get all 3 at Wrigley Field starting Thursday at noon Eastern. Have a good day, everybody. Final score here, the Cubs 7, the Astros 5. Oops, ow.